Welcome back to the Console Xplosion Weekly Wrap-Up. This week we got some kind of fun little interesting news for you. If you're wondering where I was...
I don't want to do it anymore, Shy. We've been doing this for like 2 weeks straight. I can't even...
Do it!
I can't even feel my nose anymore. This is
Just
too much
do
coke.
it!
You can't
Don't let
party
your
this
dreams
hard
be dreams.
and survive.
Yesterday,
God.
you said tomorrow. So just do it!
That's going to be something to explain to a therapist. But yeah, we had some pretty interesting little things, and apparently Kanye West made it this week. So welcome to the Console Xplosion Weekly Wrap-Up. Alright, diving right into it, let's start off by talking about the fair use issues on YouTube. Like a lot of other content creators, individuals are being struck with content, basically copyright ID stuff. And other people are actually falsely claiming other people's work. You have another company called, I think, Merlin LBC or something along those lines is what they're called, and they're claiming other people's videos and putting monetization on them so they can claim as much monetization as possible until the copyright claim is resolved. But in the meantime, they're taking people's money. So that's kind of an issue going on with them. They're manually flagging people's accounts. I'm going through one of my own copyright things on my account with my rollerball versus rollerball video because, I used footage and I removed all the audio, but within fair use, that's where I'm sitting. But, so I've put my claim out there, we'll see how it goes. Usually MGM's pretty cool about these things. But anyway, a lot of content creators on YouTube are facing this issue, and actually there's been a widespread campaign among a lot of content creators on YouTube directing their anger and frustration at YouTube and the YouTube CEO. So people have been sending messages directly to the CEO's Twitter account, raising a ruckus about this. And as long as your voice and people are still being active about this, apparently YouTube announced they will be considering it and are listening to what the audience and content creators are complaining about. So that's at least something to hopefully gets better. But YouTube has one of these things where they actually released a press release, I think about 2-3 months ago, saying they would go the extra mile and protect content creators. But in fact, they've kind of done nothing, and in recent months it's actually gotten worse for a lot of people on YouTube. So we'll see where this goes, and hopefully it improves. But moving on from there, Pokemon hits 20 years old now. It can almost drink. So that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people grew up with Pokemon, and there are kids now that are maybe experiencing it for the first time, and honestly, there's some folks now that, like, the batteries on their old units are just now starting to die, but people figured out ways to save their old save games and keep on chugging along with Pokemon. So that's pretty great. But also, some other little news. Gabe Newell fired a shoutcaster for Dota 2 by the name of James Harding. The individual, I guess, was, didn't like his performance, and I guess they fired him once, but then some Valve employees went forward and were like, well, let's bring him back, let's give him the shot. And then apparently Gabe Newell in a Reddit conversation said they regretted it, and they fired him. And then they decided on top of that, because of the issues the production company was having as well, who this individual was associated with, they fired the production company. So Valve just cleaned house with that. But, the most interesting thing is, the guy's chief complaint about being fired by Gabe Newell is that he bought $2,000 worth of clothing to be in front of the camera, and he won't be reimbursed for that. Fuck you. You bought $2,000 worth of clothing. You write it off on your taxes, dude. Fuck you, seriously. Alright, but let's keep moving on with that. Kanye West recently announced his latest album is going to be called the TurboGrafx 16. Yeah. I don't know how or why, but I guess it had some kind of resonance with him, and he's naming his new album after it. The only thing I can think is that when you actually try to Google something TurboGrafx 16 related, now you're going to get a bunch of Kanye West shit. So that's great. That's really exciting. But unless Kanye West is seeing the rising trend in retroware kind of equipment, and he's trying to corner the market by putting misdirection, his next album's probably going to be like the Atari Jaguar or some shit like that, so he can corner that market as well. And he'll drive up all the prices and control it for himself. But anyway, we'll see what he does with that. Yeah, I guess that's dropping next summer or something along those lines. I'm not sure if NEC has responded yet to this kind of little move, but then again, they kind of dropped out of the console market a long time ago. But they're still making the PC engine in the 90s, and they had the handheld PC engine, which actually makes a guest starring role in the film Enemy of the State. So that was pretty cool to see that in that Will Smith movie back in the 90s when I had no idea what it was and thought it was like a handheld television. But that's kind of the this week wrapped up for you in a nice little bow with Kanye West on top, kind of smiling at you. But welcome to console. Thank you for watching the Console Explosion Weekly Wrap Up. I'm your host, the Historic Nerd. Thank you for watching. Bye.